Lantrum, Centillium V, Cycle 20 of the Chlorhelix Millennium. Earth Mission Report, SX99K0.
What have you learned and discovered? What is your assessment? Is the world of our ancestors worthy of our attention? And can we reveal ourselves to them at this stage of their evolution?
This world reels with contradictions and paradoxes, fractured by internal divisions and an unending struggle for power. Yet hope persists, even as it is constantly set back by powerful entities fixated on their own gain at the expense of the greater good. Religion, too, has become a convenient and formidable tool, wielded to shape and sway the masses. And in that endeavour, they have achieved division with astonishing success.
The Queen will forbid first contact so long as their newly forged vision for this world remains unaltered. But what of the dominant nation? What is the condition of its political organism?
The country's stability may falter if nothing is done to rescue the Republican Party. They desperately need a candidate who actually embodies their values, their faith, and their identity, consistently, not selectively. The political scarecrows that once propelled them to victory have become their own Damocles' sword, hanging heavier each day, and not without reason. Communities that supported them in huge numbers, Cubans for example, are now openly expressing the cost of their disillusionment. Many feel betrayed as protected statuses vanish and deportation threats grow, even for the relatives of those who voted for the Republican president. The same story echoes across Somalian, Latino, Asian, and Black communities. And still, I find myself confused. Why criticize the Republicans for doing exactly what these communities voted for them to do? Farmers supported policies they knew would harm immigrant labor. Yet they were shocked when Black American voters for Trump, who had once complained that Mexicans were taking their jobs, refused to fill those same labor roles. Now, without government assistance, many of those farmers are facing ruin. In the end, the Republican problem cannot be blamed on Democrats, LGBTQ people, immigrants, climate policy, universal health care, or whichever scapegoat is convenient. Their crisis is self-inflicted, corrosion from within. It's the result of pursuing political supremacy for its own sake, rather than building a vision that appeals to a broad and diverse nation. The truth is simple. Republicans face a structural disadvantage in the popular vote because their core platform no longer resonates with most citizens. As a result, their most dependable strategy to retain power has been political maneuvering that restricts the rights or influence of opponents, Democrats, independents, and dissenters alike. From the beginning to now, I can confirm, this is no longer the Republican entity it once was. There was a time when they prided themselves on being fiscally responsible, the people who fought for balanced budgets and careful spending. But somewhere along the way, that principle slipped, and now deficits don't seem to matter as long as they're the ones running them up.
Minor interruption. Please proceed.
They used to be the guardians of the Constitution, the ones who warned about executive overreach and stressed the importance of checks and balances. Now you see them defending challenges to elections, pushing the limits of presidential power, and acting like the rules only apply when convenient. And what happened to limited government? They once stood firmly against federal interference, always arguing that the government should stay out of people's lives. But suddenly they're fine with using government power to punish companies, shape culture, and override local decisions when it benefits them politically. Same with free speech. The party that used to shout about protecting the First Amendment is now perfectly comfortable with book bans, suppressing speech in schools, and going after critics in the press. They complained endlessly about cancel culture, yet they've become some of its biggest practitioners, targeting anyone who steps out of line within their own ranks. Even law and order isn't what it used to be. They once backed the justice system wholeheartedly, courts, investigators, law enforcement. Now, those same institutions are under attack the moment they investigate or rule against a Republican figure. Their stance on democracy has shifted too. They were once the steady protectors of elections and peaceful transitions of power. Today, you see pressure campaigns on election officials, attempts to undermine results, and a refusal to accept outcomes they don't like. Free trade, gone. Family values, selectively applied. Respect for allies, conditional now. Civility, a thing of the past. Personal responsibility, only expected of their opponents. It's like a whole set of long-held principles got tossed aside, not because the ideas changed, but because the incentives did. And the party that once defined itself by its consistency is now defined by whatever serves the moment.
The conditions are unfavorable for a first worldwide contact. The planet's existence will be formally entered into the galaxy map, visible and localizable to all. Such exposure will inevitably draw attention. Should its nations fail to unite as one to defend their shared world, we will be compelled to assume planetary control to ensure its defense and survival. They must remain fully in command of their future, and therefore, their planet. Your program is extended by 2 additional leap cycles. An interdimensional leaper has been transferred into your core cortex base. This will shorten your round-trip transits between Centillium and Earth. Are you vertical, Lantrum?
Aligned and optimal, Vervix.
Stand by for the IL transfer. She has become earthy and tall. The mimetism is precise.
Awkwardly so. The females of the motherland are divided by every conceivable line. Belief, allegiance, identity, survival.
As the rest of the planet,